Hello and welcome to today's episode of the Work at Home Rockstar Podcast. Excited for today's episode. We are talking to the owner of Fight Club Martial Arts and Archery Training Center Incorporated. He also the Master's Method. So I'm excited to be rocking out with today with Emmanuel. Hey, he helps people to go inward and I guess figure out who they are. And we're going to learn a lot more about that in a few minutes. So welcome to the show, Emmanuel Manolakakis.
Manolakakis, you got it, man.
Awesome. So, hey, Emmanuel, you ready to rock?
I am right.
Awesome. We always start off here in a good note. So tell me a story of success that we can be inspired by.
Oh, many stories of success. I mean, for Fight Club, man, it's been getting close to 25 years for a martial art club, and I still remember when the first year that I started teaching, it was just a part-time thing at the time. Somebody came in and said straight out to me, if you can imagine this, said out to me, who's looking at different packages that I had for training in martial arts. And he said, I'll take the 6 month one because most martial art clubs don't make it to 2 or 3 years. So he goes, I don't want to, right to, like, imagine right to your face. I was so shocked. I like basically said, you won't be around. So I don't want to commit to you. And I'm like, wow, that's it. And at first it upset me. And then I realized, but that's the truth. And this is the hard part of life, right? This is the
Hmm.
truth. And I said, you know what? I'm going to make sure that I do everything in my power to make sure that it makes it to 3 years.
Hmm.
That
That's a good
was
goal.
that was 25. And it was I every time I'm here, every time I do another year, and January is coming around the corner now, every time I do another year, I'm so grateful and blessed that to be able to do this. I know there's not many martial arts schools operating at a full-time capacity for this long. So I'm quite special. I mean, it's a testament to a lot of the hard work, but at the same time, it's still so much of being an entrepreneur, being a person is a little bit of luck, right? Like
Hmm.
you gotta get lucky too. You gotta be good, you gotta be lucky too. So I've been blessed with both. So that's one of my favorite stories that it's still around because of what that person said.
That's awesome. I mean, it's definitely the same in just about any business, right? I mean, there's most
Yes.
businesses don't make it through even the first year. So,
No, they don't. Yeah,
I
they
mean,
don't.
yeah. So
But
now
there's go ahead. Go ahead,
Well,
sir.
well, so I was going to say, like, on that note, I mean, there are things that don't go as planned, which is the reason why most businesses don't get through. And I like to talk about these bad notes because it's something
Yes.
that keeps people out a lot. They think maybe that person who would have said that to them, maybe they might have went, ah, okay, maybe I shouldn't be doing this, right?
Mhm.
So I was wondering, can you share with us something that didn't go as planned, something that was a big mistake that you recovered from?
Okay, big mistakes. So when I first started, so there's it's not I don't see things as right and wrong, but we
Yeah.
can look at this for your listeners. There are things that just happen. And no matter how good we all are, like as an athlete, when I was a younger athlete, and I played at pretty high level sports, um, we practiced all week long and we had a great plan and we thought of everything that could happen. But when the game happened, man,
Oh, yeah.
it all went to shit, just went crazy. And you just realize the team that will really make it to a higher level are the ones that are adaptable. The teams that are able to be, you watch it in hockey, you watch it in baseball, the teams that play together and that can adapt quickly because everybody's figuring you out and you've got to be adaptable, even as a martial artist, as a person in general. Society is changing. You're changing. I mean, getting older, your views are changing, your knowledge is changing.
Hmm.
So in when it comes to martial arts, you see a lot of, I can only speak specifically to martial arts, but it's also to musicians, anybody that is in the creative realm, right? Like there's some creativity there. Everybody begins by copying somebody, right? Like if you're a
Yep.
musician, of course you're going to play Stairway to Heaven. If you stay there, like for 5 or 10 years, you see the problem. Like there's no authentic, and people will realize that, right? When you're running your own business, the biggest mistake you can make is copying all the time. It's fine to do it a little bit at the beginning, only to get your bearings and then find out what's your take on it. How did like, how did you change it? And that only comes from authenticity. If you're a chef, it's you cook from the foods that you like, the things that you experienced. Or if you're a musician, well, you develop your voice, you develop your song, You develop the stories and the writing material to be more authentic, and
Hmm.
then you connect. So, in martial arts, there's this tendency to think that you can make everybody happy, like somehow cover all the bases, but you can't do that. That's ridiculous. You can only connect with some people that want to listen or agree with your perspective.
Yeah.
That's it. So don't make the mistake of trying to make everybody happy. You don't need to. You could just do what you do and find your raving fans that love you. So really start it small and like kindling wood, and create a big fire of people that like what you do and like exactly how you do it. That doesn't mean that they hate other people, but they like how you do it and what you do, right? Like I like Johnny Cash for Johnny Cash. I didn't want Johnny Cash to be Britney Spears. I don't want him to. I want that's what I like. So I think a big mistake is when people start to copy too long, and that can go for even a restaurant. Find your niche, man. Find your niche. Find what you do and do it really well.
Yeah.
And that is probably the mistake I've seen that I did at the beginning too. I started to copy what other martial arts schools did, and it was fine. It was a starting point. And then I'm like, that's not me. I'm not one of these guys that's going to scare students like, oh my God, someone's going to jump you and beat you up. And I'm not going to do that. I'm going to teach you how to fight as a warrior poet, as a something. It's beautiful. I want you to understand, you don't have to fight because you're angry. You can fight because you love what's behind you. You don't have to hate what's in front of you. You can just love what's behind you.
Mm.
That's all it really is. Like those are old warriors. Were warriors in old societies not that long ago, a couple hundred years ago. It was the most respected person. It's the person that protected your society.
Yeah.
And he was a noble person. It wasn't like an animal or something. What's happened now in martial arts specifically is people are crisscrossing entertainment versions.
Oh,
And so well, no, listen, yeah, I don't want to upset people. We need to be honest about stuff. Boxing used to be a beautiful martial art, but then it got associated with entertainment, and then it got associated with Vegas and drinking and gambling, and then so now it changed and it became entertainment, and it's not so much. And people can't, if you can't see that, you're missing it, right? MMA is a wonderful thing. It's great, but it's also entertainment,
yeah.
right? So forget that. When you're protecting yourself, it's your country, it's your life, it's something really important. It's not like to entertain people. It's like, remember that scene from Gladiator? Are you not entertained? Like he's like, I'm a general, man. I protected you guys, but now you want me to entertain you. He was so frustrated with this concept. I'm a warrior. I went to battle and protected freedoms and had liberty and noble and respect. And you want me now to dance around and entertain you? It's like I can't do that side of martial arts.
Yeah.
I can appreciate it, but I can't do that side. If you want to entertain, you go see a movie, play some sports and stuff like that. But for me, martial arts is something a little bit different. And I think that um, for your listeners, you have such a spectrum in music because you're a musician, right? You have people that do it just for the love of music, right? And then they still make a quite a good living. They're not poor. But they don't want like a Britney Spears. They don't
Yep.
want that, right? There's a lot of people like this, very impressive people. Um, in uh in in the food industry, and there are people that want to run a Michelin star restaurant. What is the difference between a regular restaurant and Michelin star? It's just more detail.
Hmm.
The bar is much higher. It's really simple. They don't care about more customers or more patrons. It's like, this food represents me. It represents everything, and it's like, whoa. And when who wouldn't like to be part of a Michelin star? Whoever hasn't had an experience, you got to do it at least once in your life. It's pretty amazing, right? And that bar is set by the entrepreneur.
Yeah.
The person running that restaurant, it's a chef. He holds what he does at a very high standard,
Yeah.
right? And entrepreneurs can choose that. It's your choice now. You can have a low standard, high standard, or somewhere in between. It's up to you, right?
Yeah. Yeah, well, I mean, when it comes to music, for sure, I mean, there's so many things that you went through there. There's, even genre, right? I mean, if you're trying to make everybody happy, there are people that sort of gravitate towards one genre, and if they like
Yeah.
country and you're playing death metal, probably not gonna like you very much, right?
But
Uh,
I will tell you this though. There's two musicians at the Fight Club, um, both longtime students, and one of them is a death metal guitarist.
mhm.
And I will tell you, I've known him for a better part of 15 years. A wonderful man, and his taste in music is all over the place. You
Yep,
can go to his house and he will listen to jazz. He'll listen to blues. He listens to everything. This is a big misconception people have of a lot of the death metal guys, like people on the extreme, listen to all kinds of music.
yep,
They love all of it. They're not saying, oh, it's not this or that. Like a good chef, he doesn't care. He might be cooking, making a Japanese chef, but he can appreciate French cooking. Great chefs, great people, great musicians, they totally appreciate. They love the authenticity. They see that, right?
yep,
That's the highest to me when you're talking master level stuff, which is the course master's method that I teach. It's really just who you are, and the person that does that in a seamless way and who they are, doesn't matter if you're a chef, a musician, a martial artist, you are showing people who you are. And that's, I mean, I'm not sure what greater thing anybody could ask for in this world than before you leave this world that people knew who you were.
yeah.
Like most people that they don't know that, so it really is authenticity that's at the core of all of this. And that doesn't come easy.
Yeah. Yeah, well, and a lot of that very, very heavy metal, it's technically very, very, very difficult, right? It's
Yeah. Oh,
it's
yeah.
it's kind of like at the top level, which to me that kind of makes sense. I think that's why it's so difficult to understand for the average person. The average person, we're bombarded with all this formulaic, very, very simple music. That's the stuff that ends up on the pop charts, right?
Yeah.
So something that's that technically difficult, like, even in the 70s when music came out, in the 80s and even in the 90s, I think it started to change in the 90s. But remember when you had to like listen to something a few times before you liked it? Like
Yeah.
like that
100%.
doesn't happen anymore. Now, I mean,
No,
the music is created in such a way that you listen to the first time and you're hooked, and that's how it's created. It's not the same, and
no, it's not the
I
same.
think that's the difference between music. I think a lot of people, and I mean, you say that about fighting. It's the same in everywhere. I think that everything has become more entertainment. It's built
Hmm.
for the entertainment value of it rather than just for the love of it, right?
For love, yeah. And you can always tell because listen, like I said, copying is fine at the very beginning. We all do it. We copy our
Absolutely.
teachers, it's fine. But at some point, you have to look at yourself and say, would I really do this? Like, that's all I'm saying. Would I really do this? Because under pressure, real pressure, talking game pressure, the game is on the line pressure, or for more serious matters like military people, like your life is on the line, like
Yeah.
that kind of stuff, right? Like that's a lot of reality for people, right? Any of the first responders, every time they go to a call, you don't know what you're going to face. It can be people may not understand that ambulance, police, firefighter, whoever gets there first. Somebody calls 911, whoever gets there first is responding, and if it's violent, it's violent. If it looks calm but then becomes violent, like their lives are on the line
Yeah.
in many cases. And when you're that kind of a person, you're gonna be, because you won't care. You're gonna be who you are, right? It does not just for old people. You meet those old people that just don't care, right? They just tell you if they don't like you, tell you to go to. I love that. It's so funny to me
Yeah.
because they realize they don't care. They finally reach that point where this is who I am. If you like me, great. If you don't, I got this way somehow. And if you want to care to understand how I got here, right?
Yeah.
So as a teacher, I try to really understand who somebody is. So I'm teaching an art, of course, but I'm also trying to understand the person and seeing how we can bring them together, right?
Yeah.
And if you ever watch those shows like The Voice, it's really amazing how these top level singers, look at a person saying, you're playing somebody else's song, but I want to hear it your way. I don't want to hear that person. I don't want to hear Billy Joel. I want your version of Billy Joel.
Yeah.
And then what those professional, singers are analyzing is the authenticity of that voice.
Yeah.
And it's like somebody looking at a painting. Is that a Rembrandt? Like, man, there's a lot goes into it, right? If you are comfortable with your voice and you're comfortable with who you are and you can sing somebody else's stuff in your way, that's what I want. That I think is a good life. Like you're finding your way, because there is no purpose that serves Canada, the world, anybody, if you're just copying somebody all the time. There's just no purpose.
Yeah. Yeah. The
It's just
copying gets you.
yeah,
The
the
copying
old
helps you figure out what your style is, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
the old Greeks used to say, when you need a hero, like when you need a hero in life, you need him now. Not you don't have time to train him. So who is a hero? A hero is somebody who sees things differently that nobody's prepared for. This is the whole Kung Fu Panda. This is the whole How to Train a Dragon. The person was absolutely different from the society, and the enemy or the problem was not ready for them,
Mm-hmm.
and that's how you were victorious.
Well,
And that says so much. Like that's why I when I see teachers, especially with young kids, 'cause I teach kids too. And again, here's a whole other story. I didn't want to teach kids. And for all these out there, I didn't want to teach kids, but I'm so good at it, um, because I don't treat them like kids. I imagine them as an adult. I fast forward to the 5-year-old, 10-year-old boy, and I say, or girl, and say, what are you like at 21? How do I get you to 21?
mm,
That's what I do when I teach kids. I can't teach them at that age because they're just annoying. Everybody is just lying. What I'm trying to do at that age is not get in their way. Don't don't change them. If they're like loud, try to get them to quiet down, but don't take the loud from them. Like that's their voice or that's their way, right? Kids change so much, but people always try to correct them, and then they always feel they can't be who they want to be. They
yeah.
feel that, right? Don't take that from them. That's their gift that was given to them. So try to teach a kid and seeing how they'll grow and connect the dots. That's what a teacher should be doing. Not just for kids, but for adults. The same thing. Kids, big men are just big babies. Come on, they're all the same, They're all
Yeah.
the
It's
same.
funny. Yeah. You
It
take
is, but we
kids and you
all
treat them
are.
like the adult, and you take the adults and you treat them like the kid.
Yes, yes, 100%, 100%, and they love it. The
Yeah.
the adults are so tired of adulting. They're so tired of it. They want to play more. They're
Absolutely.
tired of being right and wrong, and they just want to play more for sure. So
So now you mentioned earlier that when you get into sports, music is the
yeah,
same. I mean, you can practice all you want, but then you get into the game or whatever it is, and unexpected starts to happen, and all of a
oh
sudden,
yeah,
everything you practice is not the same. So
yeah.
how do you practice? How do you get ready for the unexpected?
Absolutely great question. So your training has to be like that. So I remember watching. So I did quite a bit of bodyguard gigging as well. So I did a lot of close protection work, celebrities, musicians as well. I won't say their names. I'm obligated not to, but I,
Okay.
I still remember one musician, a guitarist, great guitarist by the way, and out of nowhere. I'm watching him, right? He's on stage. I don't even know how many people. I've never seen this many people. I couldn't run a damn mic across that stage. It was so many. I mean, I was scared to just walk across the stage, forget about sing.
Yeah.
This guy was in the middle. He was in a riff, dude. And I was just enthralled by the music. And all of a sudden, he just stops. He turns and grabs another guitar and continues away. And it was like, and then I looked and he broke a string in
Yep.
the middle of a solo and he just seamlessly. I just noticed that he turned around, which like that's kind of an odd time to be turning around and grabbing a new guitar without a hesitation. Your training has to, you have to say to yourself, what can go wrong? So let's give you a martial art example, or even as an entrepreneur, you can pick your examples. You pick a problem. So I could be in a situation with a person, all of a sudden, what appears to be one person comes to more people. All of a sudden, there's 3 people or 2 people I'm facing or more. How do I deal with that now? What would I
Mm-hmm.
do now?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Okay. Or all of a sudden, in the middle of everything, I hurt my hand. So now I can't use my left hand. I can only use my right hand. Or what happens if in the middle of this altercation, somebody grabs me from behind? Not even a bad person. It can just be a loved one trying to pull me away from the fight, but doesn't understand all that's going on. And that happens a lot. A lot of people in real situations, bodyguarding for sure, they don't understand what's happened because a bodyguard can see things much clearer. That's how
Yeah.
he sees ahead of it. So most people are trying to calm things down, but the situation is escalating and we need to remove people. They don't understand them. So you have to look at those situations and prepare for them. And you don't have to freak out. You just have to say, what if? Okay, we do that. So I need to practice with one hand. I need to practice against three guys coming at me. I need to, what if a weapon comes out? Okay, now I need to have some weapons training. And then you have to layer, and it has to surprise you. In training, your training has to be organic like that. So if I was teaching a class, I'd be like, hey guys, go on the ground and wrestle with each other, just one person. At any given moment, if somebody from another group feels like jumping onto the other group, they can. And all of a sudden, it's a game. But what you're doing is you're preparing those people for things that will not go your way.
Yeah.
That's all. It's not. I want all your listeners to understand. This is an entrepreneur's life. You have to plan. Everything can go wrong, like the pandemic. Think about it for me. The pandemic. I mean, as for martial arts, it was devastating, right? It was devastating, but I made it, and I made it because I had really dedicated students. I got online. We trained outdoors. We figured it out, right? And it was seamless for me. I didn't hesitate at all. I didn't when things go wrong, right? When they go wrong real quick. And you need a steady hand at that exact moment, right? Whether you're a general in the military or whether you're a CEO at a business, you have to not be ready to be with cliches. You have to be ready to do the real work and be
Yeah.
ready to adapt. Stay positive, but not false positive, right? Not false positive, right? I had the luxury of training with quite a few military special forces, and it's the stories they tell me are so funny. They're not even scary. Like we're talking about a unit that's completely surrounded by the enemy, and they're pinned down. They're waiting for help. They don't know how long it'll be, and they're just taking fire from all sides. Like there's just no front. There's like it's all around. Them. They're completely surrounded. The only help is a helicopter that could come in and rescue them. And it's like a scene out of a movie, but this was real. And they said, I go, God, what were you thinking? He goes, I don't know. One guy started talking about how his wife is probably repainting their house. Another one is probably saying how he's probably trying to sell his car. Like I go, they're just talking about normal things because it's too intense. I still remember that in my sports days, we'd be talking about some of the funniest things in the middle of a quite serious game because it calms you down,
Yeah.
right? And there's a scene, there's a scene in Saving Private Ryan, the movie, where the unit was starting to fall apart. Towards the end of the movie, they were getting all over each other, and that and Tom Hanks, being the commander of that little unit that's looking for Private Ryan, says to his sergeant, the company had this toll because he didn't say what job he did in his civilian. So people started to raise money to see when, if they reach him out the money, he'll say what he does. And he turns to the unit and he says, how much is the tally?
The
He
pod
goes,
adder. Yeah.
the pod at a couple $100. He goes, I'm a teacher. And everybody, you're a teacher. Like if for a moment it broke that. Like it normalized this thing, this craziness that is the war. It normalized it for a second. It's
Hmm.
like he's a teacher, and it brought them back to when they were civilians. They took them out of like this soldier mode of like constant pressure. So um an athlete that is at the highest level, real high levels, not amateur levels. Amateur levels is different. High levels, they don't understand how to add pressure. They study how to remove pressure
Yeah.
because too much pressure hurts them. Much like a musician, what do they think about before they go on a stage? They're getting up, but they're also calming down,
Yep.
right? They're also calming down. So And I've watched this. For all your listeners, look at those people in the Olympics. It's a great event, highest level, right? Pretty high level. Watch what a sprinter is doing before he's about to run or she's about to run as fast as possible. They're bouncing, they're shaking out tension, they're wiggling their hands, they're wiggling their feet. They're trying to relax. Nobody is saying, oh, they're just trying to relax. And I'm the same under real pressure. I'm just trying to calm down. And when I'm calm, that's where my confidence lies. When I'm angry or tense, that's where my fears go. And I
Mm,
don't want to be in my fears, right? There is a lot of things as a teacher that will piss you off and anger you. Um, not just students, lots of stuff, life, different obstacles that are put in your way as an entrepreneur. A lot of things will anger you. That is not where your best work lies. It's not where your authentic work lies. The best a person can be is when they're calm and relaxed. And it's also like I talked about creative expression, right? Creative expression is when you're chill, man. That's when you come up with your song. That's when you find a solution to this problem that is daunting, right? So
yep.
I hope your listeners understand this. And so as I was going along teaching martial arts, these threads were coming along. Students were talking to me. They were saying, "Oh my God, I'm going home showing my kids what you're showing me," and they love it. I mean, you should start teaching kids. Oh, I don't want to teach kids. Oh my God, how I can't do this. I can't do this. And then all of a sudden, I sat down. What if I imagine them at 21? So that I can do, right? And then the fighting aspects of martial arts is another thing. I can do that, but there came a point where I'm not really angry, and the situations that I'm coming across don't warrant a fight, but yet they are tough. So I realized that it's inside your head. So we started working on mental training, and at that exact same time, I was doing very well in archery because I was competing and still compete in archery competitions, and I realized how much of it is mental. And I really started to connect these dots, and I started showing a handful of students this mental training that I go through, and they loved it. It was more important to them than the physical training, and I fully believe that the future right now for all people going forward past 2026 is going to be a lot of is being able to control your mind. It's
Yeah.
not a is it there's just too much information, Tim, for all of us to be sitting here going that we can handle this. This is like a crazy buffet. There's no way we can eat all this food, and people are trying to, and they're
Yep.
just getting an upset stomach. They're getting, and if people don't believe me, just talk to any medical professional and look at the rise of ADHD drugs. Look
Yep.
at the rise of people that are going on medication for anxiety, for stress. All of this is manageable. It's just stop the information.
Yep.
How much do we need? We have more information than 100 years ago a president or prime minister had. We have so much information. You don't need more. You don't, last thing is you need more. If you want to be happy for your listeners, you need less.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean be ignorant. Doesn't mean be ignorant or naive. It means you need less information and maybe more wisdom. And wisdom is the combination of I get some knowledge and then I practice or I do that thing a lot, and then I get a little bit more knowledge with a lot more action, and that becomes wisdom.
Yeah.
People just they're this is not my opinion. This is the old Greek philosophers said this. Like they were the same,
Yeah.
right?
Well, I think you're right. I mean, this is a deep conversation that could go on forever, but
Yes,
I
it can.
think that back 30, 40 years ago, we really were only in contact with our bubble, and
Yes.
that bubble sort of thought the same. We were sort of like similar, and now with the social media and with the world becoming smaller, we're
Yeah.
exposed to everything all at once. And a lot
Oh
of
yeah.
it is
In
not the
real
way we
time.
think. And people are getting triggered very, very quickly and focusing on the things they don't like, right?
Or they can't
When
control. Or they can't
or they
control.
can't control. Yeah, exactly. And I
Just
think
terrible.
I think that's where
Terrible.
it is. I mean, when you think about the people that are the happiest, it's the people that just let it be.
Yeah.
whatever. I mean, they're doing what they're doing over there. It's not really affecting. Is it really affecting you? I think that that's the
No,
thing, is that
no.
they're only being affected because they're looking at it and they're focusing on
Yes.
it. Whereas
Yeah.
before we didn't even have the ability to see it. We might see
100%.
it walking down the street. Oh, I don't like those people over there on the, whatever, under the bridge, whatever it happens to
Yeah.
be.
Yeah.
And then they just kind of keep walking. But now
Yeah.
it's in your hand, it's on your screen, it's everywhere, and you're kind of going like, I hate that. And people are not managing those triggers very well. So
No.
I think you're into it. I think now is the time to figure out how to handle those triggers and not be triggered by it, right?
Hmm.
hmm
Yeah.
So
No, go ahead. Yeah,
so
go
let's
ahead.
get into your solo a little bit. Let's talk about
Yeah.
what's exciting in your business.
For me now, it's the shift from when I first started martial arts, a very physical thing, and it was great. I mean, I loved it like that as well. But I'm realizing more and more now that it's the mental side, and I'm really digging helping people manage that side. And they're like, it's so refreshing for people to understand that, wow, because let's say to be physical, you got to go somewhere. You might have to go to the gym, or you
hmm
got to go outside and go for a run, or if you're in cycling, you got to get on your bike. And mental training can be done anywhere. This is what's great. Like you have 10 minutes, you can just sit down and and focus. Like the research on visualization training, which is, maybe a long time ago, it's been, I mean, Pele was talking about that, and it's nothing new, but it's gone like 3D. Like visualization is kind of like, okay, me imagining doing a sport and positive outcomes and that being real. But now there's just so much more to that kind of training. People start to understand how deep the mind is, right?
Mm.
And even me, I'm amazed that, like, it's not just left and right half of the brain, but it's like really maximizing what we do with this thing. And I really see the connection to happiness. I really see the connection to uh, performing at your utmost best. Like I don't even care about winning at all. Winning is like subjective. There's some archery competitions I won I didn't deserve, and there's some that I should have won that I didn't. Um, Winning is that I care about performing at my best. Like when I go to teach, I don't. The class might not have gone as good as I would have liked. Maybe the students didn't understand the lesson as good as I would have liked, but I know that I did my best. I can't control how it will be understood, and really dissecting that there's this idea that we have a powerful brain. But it's hard to walk around and just tell people, look at my beautiful brain. It's much easier to say, look at my six pack, right? You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like, look at my big arms. The problem with inner work, mind, like mind and the spiritual stuff, like inside of us, nobody can see this.
Yeah.
But that's also what makes it so special, right? What makes your home so special? Nobody sees this. You invite people in. And who comes into your house? Only the people that you trust,
Yeah.
right? So the inner workings of your mind and your spirit, these are places that very special, and we should treat them like that. A long time ago, I grew up in them. I'm a 69 baby. So I grew up like, mostly in the 80s were my teen years. And everybody in Scarborough and in Toronto in those days, if you're Greek, Italian, Portuguese, European, you had that nice room. This is You only went in that room when it was like, Easter, Christmas. That was the good room. That was a very special place where you went to celebrate over. And um, the mind is a very special place. It's a place that only you go, really, and you go there to find your authentic self, not to copy other people. So I'm really excited about the mental training. I think as a society and as people living in Toronto, for me and my students, this is going to be the hardest part of living in a big city. Not the physical ability of it, it's the mental. So helping them navigate that is really exciting me.
Wow. So I'm different. I know that because I talk to people, and I have no problem being alone with myself and with my own thoughts.
Yeah.
However, I hear that a lot of people do have a hard time with that. And
I like how you said that. I hear.
I hear.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering, because this might actually be scary to those people thinking, whoa, 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 I don't think I wanted to be doing that. Or maybe they might be pushing it away. What would you
10 minutes.
say?
10
Yeah.
minutes. Come on, guys. 10 minutes. You can't sit still. Like I hope everybody listens. Do you understand? If you can't sit still for 10 minutes, listen, in Scarborough, if you rode the bus back when before I had my car, you're on that bus for like 30 minutes. There was nothing to do, guys. Okay.
Yeah.
Like little did I know I was practicing 30 minutes of mindfulness. I'm doing not, I was so progressive. Back in the 80s, you had no cell phone,
Yep.
no, you just sat there, man. You just sat there. And you guess what? You looked at everybody. You were mindful. Oh, there's a woman that's pregnant coming on. I got it. I should get up. Let a pregnant woman sit down. Or oh, there's an older person coming. I should get up. Or
Yep.
you just take 10 minutes, man. Sit down and don't look at your phone. Breathe and just observe the world. Just observe it. It just 10 minutes. It is beautiful. It is beautiful to do that. And it starts with 10 minutes. And I don't want anybody to do anything more. I did it a long time ago and I quickly made it 20 minutes.
Mm.
Like you should never like even though me and you are talking to people now, we're telling them some stuff. I am not a guru. I will present information. I want everybody to test everything I say. And if it works and it's good for you, please continue it.
Love it.
Come on. Like eat some good food. I dare anybody to have a little bit of cabbage with their meal at dinner for a week straight, just a little bit of cabbage, and watch how their gut will feel great. Tell me you don't if you don't like that feeling, well then go back to eating whatever you're eating. So read something, taste something, eat something, try some training. To anybody that doesn't understand how beautiful it feels to go for a 15-minute walk after you have dinner, if that doesn't feel good, don't do it.
Yeah.
But I will guarantee you you'll enjoy it. That's a wonderful practice. Very simple. So I'm all about starting very small and letting things grow and enjoying it, just like you're planting a seed. Let it grow. You don't have to yell at it.
Mm. Yeah.
Let it grow.
So how do we find out more about you then?
Uh, for me, it's really simple. I have a book I've written. So if people want, you can go, you'll find it on Amazon. It's called Eudaimonia, The Highest Human Good,
Okay.
by Emmanuel. I'd be happy to. So it's on Amazon. Eudaimonia is the name. They can also go to my website. There's fight-club.ca, and there's another website I started off just after the pandemic, which is a lot more the personal growth, personal development. It's called mastersmethod.ca, and I've kind of put all my kind of more mental training there because it seemed like there's a different group of people that not necessarily want martial arts, but do want that training without the punches and kicks, which I get,
Hmm.
right? It's not for everybody, right? Not everybody's a martial artist in the physical sense, but we definitely need, it feels like being a martial artist living in living in our society these days. We're wrestling with so many issues. So
Nice.
there is that side of it, right? Yeah, those are definitely the ways of getting in touch with me. And just um I want to thank you as well for putting me on the podcast. It's a wonderful way, and for all the entrepreneurs listening, um, be adaptable. Find some authenticity. It's not easy. I know it's not. You got to sit quietly. You got to go back into your history and look at what you did. Talk to your mother if you can. What did you do as a kid? How were you? Stay close to those things,
Yeah.
right? If I can do it as a martial artist, if I can literally play while I'm training, even when I'm fighting, because all of a sudden I'm very authentic. I'm not doing things I regret,
Yeah.
right? Because it's like me to do everything I do. So please find a way. If I can do it in fighting, you can find it in your business and in your personal life as well.
Awesome. One more question before I go. Who's your favorite rock
Yes.
star?
Oh man, you got so many. Rockstar. I grew up in the 80s, so I listened to all kinds of music back then.
Yeah.
It's really hard. But I did watch the rise of rap. And I'm not a
Yep.
big rapper, but I watched it, like NWA, Public Enemy, and I was like, what the hell is this? Like it's like you had Bon Jovi, you had Michael Jackson, you had this great. And then there was this thing that was like so different. And then to watch the evolution of that music and how it's transformed, I don't think because I can't say I saw that with country or blues or I didn't see that, but I was, I was literally, that was exactly when I was a teenager. And I still remember the people blaring some of that Public Enemy, and it was like, what? We were shocked. That was like
Yeah.
a very different type of music. So I think that one is the one that really sticks in my mind. It's really to watch something from the beginning and watch it
Expand.
expand, like,
Hmm.
and the characters, some of them are still around, which is, you know what I mean, like Jay-Z and
Yeah.
all these guys, they're still around, and to watch them mature, you know. Same with Mike Tyson. I grew up boxing, and he was the guy, and to watch him now,
Yeah.
what a change, what a changed man, what a changed person, pretty
Love
awesome.
that. Love that. Well,
Yeah,
thank you so much for rocking out with me today, Emmanuel. This has been a lot of fun.
thank you, man. It's been a lot of fun. Thank you so much, Tim.
Awesome. And to the listeners, make sure you go to workathomerockstar.com for more information. We'll see you next time on the Work at Home Rockstar podcast.